Good morning, friend. In business finance paper second, next new chapter we have to start here, and that is entitled as lease finance, or it is called leasing finance. Try to understand. What do you mean by leasing finance? What is the exact meaning of leasing finance? What are the definitions given for the leasing finance? All such things we have to consider here in this period. Now, lease finance is a new mode of term financing. What is it? It is a new mode of term financing in the area of corporate finance. The term leasing, it is used as a mode of making equipment. It is used as a mode of making equipment available to the users, and it is a sort for, or it is a sort of financing the kind. Okay, different kinds of equipments are provided on rental basis. Try to understand. Different types of the equipments are also available on rental basis. The term equipment, what do you mean by equipment? The term equipment includes plants, machinery, office equipments, commercial vehicles, business cars, tools, shop fittings, ships, aircrafts, and so on. All these items are included in the term of equipment. Try to understand. It meant for commercial use. It is alternative for purchase of equipment. It means that lease finance is nothing but an alternative for purchase of equipments. That is, the required equipments are taken on lease instead of purchasing the same. It is also termed as equipment leasing. Try to understand. It is also termed as equipment leasing. Try to understand. The practice of equipment leasing had its origin in Sumerian civilization. Where? In Sumerian civilization. It reveals that the Sumerians leased goods for commercial purpose before 200 before century. Okay. Further, Romans developed the practice of equipment leasing and even formulated legal body for the transactions of leasing. In 20th century, United Kingdom evolved and developed the practice of leasing rapidly. Where it is developed? In United Kingdom. It spreads over other developed countries in 1970. In recent years, it has developed to the stage of international leasing, which is most cost effective for developing and backward countries of the world. It means that such type of introductory information we have to understand as a student of business finance. Now, what is the exact meaning of lease finance? Try to understand. What do you mean by lease finance? The term lease finance is synonymous for leasing and equipment leasing. All the three terms have the same meaning. All the three terms have same meaning, and those terms are defined as follows. First definition is given here: lease. Lease finance, an arrangement between two parties. Try to understand. It is an arrangement between two parties. The leaser, it means leasing company, and the lessee, the user, in which the lessor provides certain assets for commercial use on hire or specific renter over this specific period. That is also called lease finance. Then another definition is also given here, that is, lease finance is a contract whereby the owner of an asset grants to another parties the exclusive rights to the use of assets for the agreement period of time for the payment of rent. This definition is also here, and that definition also indicates the exact meaning of leasing or lease finance. Okay. Now we have to understand definitions clearly indicates. Definitions clearly indicates that the lease finance is a contract. What is it? Lease finance is a contract under lease finance. Okay. Under lease finance, the equipment required by the user company is purchased by the assets financing company. and it is lay down the lease over the period of return. It means that it lays on the lease over the period of the term and rent mutually agreed between the two companies. It means that such type of equipments are provided on rental basis to the other company. The user company is borrower and the financing company is lender. What is the term used here? The user company is borrower and the financial company or financing company is lender. The user company or firm is termed as lessee and the lending company is known as a lessor. The lessee rental represents the consideration for the lease transactions. It means that you have to understand these two companies are mutually doing that business. Okay, that's why leaser and lessee company, these two companies are also included in this leasing finance. Okay, now we have to understand what are the types of leases. Okay, leases finance may be in the different forms, in the different types. Though it has a recent origin, lease finance is classified in the following types, and that classification I have given in this slide. Now, first type of leasing is there, financial lease. What is it? Financial lease. It is a long-term agreement. Try to understand. Financial lease is a long-term agreement which generally corresponds with the economic life of the asset. Okay. It is a non-cancelable contract. Try to understand. Such type of a contract is non-cancelable and either party cannot cancel it. Only the ownership remains with the financing company. All the risks and benefits are associated with the leased assets. The borrowing company bears the cost of repairs, maintenance, expenses and insurance expenses also. It means that such type of expenditure is also borne by the borrowing company. The lending company grants absolute right to use the assets associated with all the corresponding risks. It is a non-cancelable contract. Try to understand. Leasing finance is non-cancelable contract between the leaser and lessee. That's why this is the first type. What is it? Financial lease. Then second type is also given here. That is a operating lease. What is it? Operating lease. It is a short-term lease for the limited period of time. Don't forget it all. Operating lease is a short-term lease. For what purpose? For a limited period of time. Maybe 1 year, maybe 1 day, maybe 1 month or such as. Generally it does not exceed the 5 years. Okay. Lease rental will be higher compared to the other lease. Operating lease includes maintenance services and financing. As it is a short period lease, operating lease is a short period lease. The risks of ownership and non-use period of the assets rest with the lessors. Okay. It is terminable by the stipulated notice as per agreement. But the risk and maintenance of the equipments during the operating lease rests with lessee. This kind of lease is suitable for the lessee when the assets have rapid obsolescence or he has temporary financial problem to purchase the assets. Such type of a lease is called operating lease. Then third type is also given here, that is a leverage lease. Under this leverage lease, the lessor owns live property. Okay, lessor owns that property which he acquires partly by contributing own funds and partly by borrowing funds from financial institutions and lease it to the lessee. The lessee makes periodical payment during the lease period and it is entitled to the use of assets over that period of time. The role of financial institution is restricted to the loan sanction. Try to understand that loan of financial institution, that is also restricted to the sanction loan. But the loan is provided against the assignment of lease and lease payments. It means that the lessor borrow funds for the lessee party and makes lease finance to the lessee. Of course, the lessor enjoys the full right of the ownership of the property and lessee rents. Okay, and lessee rentals. That is called leverage lease. Then fourth type is also given here, that is a sale or lease back leasing. What is the exact meaning of sale or lease back leasing? There are two words, sale and lease back. Okay, under this lease, a company which owns the property sells it to the leasing company, and the sold property is taken back on lease from the leasing company. It means that here selling transaction is taken place. Okay, in practice the ownership of the property is transferred by sale, but the possession and rights to use property is retained by the seller company. Okay, the seller company in return pays lease rental to the owners, that is leasing company. In other words, the leasing company buys the property from the seller and leases the same property to the same seller. When the company wants to disinvest for better investment, the practice of leaseback is preferred. It means that in case of disinvestment, such type of leaseback practice is preferred. That's why this is also fourth type of lease. Then next lease is also we have to understand, that is a direct lease. What is it? Direct lease. What do you mean by direct lease? What is the exact meaning of direct lease? Why it is called direct lease? All such things we have to study. Under the direct lease, the leasing company, try to understand, under the direct lease, the leasing company acquiring the right to use the assets through lease arrangement. The leaser owns the property basically, and by lease agreement it is handed over to the leasing company. The leasing company is not a seller company, and it takes the property on the lease directly from the leaser company. Directly from the leaser company. Hence, it is termed as direct leasing. Why it is called? Because leasing company is not the seller company, and it takes the property. It takes the property on lease directly. That's why it's called a direct leasing, which is contract or which is contrast to the sale or leaseback leasing. It means that that is a contrast to the above leasing type. The direct leasing may be financial or operating lease also. In this way, these are the different types of leases. What are the types of leases I have given here? First type is there, financial lease. Second, operating lease. Third, leverage lease. Fourth, sale or leaseback lease. Sale or leaseback lease. And last, direct leasing. These are different 5 types of leasing. Okay. Now, what are the reasons for leasing? Those reasons also we have to understand. Why leasing is there, or why leasing is taking place there? What are the reasons for accepting such type of a lease transaction? Lease finance, though of the recent origin, developed rapid in last quarter of the 20th century. Most of the companies prefer lease against the purchase of assets. The tendency for leased property instead of owned property has been growing amongst the business firm and the company. It means that such type of tendency has been growing amongst the business firms and the company. Borrowing of property is preferred to borrowing of the loans. Buy or lease, try to understand. Buy or lease has become significant financial decision in business. A lease is financially advantageous to the lessee. Some of the different reasons are given here, and those reasons also we should have to understand for the leasing. Okay, why leasing is in practice, using in practice now here? What are the reasons behind it? Those reasons also we have to study here. First reason is given here, that is the risk of ownership is shifted to the leaser. That is the first reason. It means that there is no risk of ownership, and that risk of ownership is shifted to the leaser. Then another reason is also there. Risk of obsolescence is assets is reduced totally. Risk of obsolescence of assets is reduced totally. It means that such type of risk is also totally reduced. That's why a leasing is preferred. Then another reason is also there. Leasing helps to keep cash flow. Leasing helps to keep cash flow more effective and productive. That's why also it is preferred. leasing finance can use the funds for better purpose and higher productivity also. It means that it can be used, leasing finance can be used for the betterment of the company, for the higher productivity of the company. That's why also such type of leasings are preferred. Then another reason is also given here. It gives the composition. Leasing keeps the composition of assets portfolio more flexible and more competitive. It means that the assets portfolio should be more flexible and should be more competitive, and it is possible with the help of leasing. That's why leasing is preferred. Then advanced technology based assets. Try to understand, my friends. Advanced technology based assets and equipments are easily available under leasing. There is no need of purchasing such type of assets. With the help of leasing also, such type of advanced technology based assets and equipments are easily available. Then lease finance is convenient for the firm or company. Try to understand. Lease finance is convenient for the firm or company expand gradually with leasing facilities. Okay, and that is also another reason for the leasing. Then leasing also offers, try to understand, leasing also offers cost saving over the direct borrowing. It means that cost saving aspect is also there. Each and every business is also going to prefer or giving the preference to the cost saving. Okay, and that cost saving aspect is also possible with the help of leasing. Try to understand. And if cost saving is there successful in the business, your business will be successful and there will be development in future also. That's why leasing is preferred. That is also one of the important reasons. Then another reason is also there, the terms and conditions of lease. Try to understand. The terms and conditions of lease are more comfortable than that of borrowing. It means that here comparison is made between leasing and borrowing, and the terms and conditions are more comfortable than the borrowing. That's why also it is preferred. Then leasing certainly helps to improve. Leasing certainly helps to improve the financial ratios of the company. Such type of leasing helps to improve the financial ratios of the company. Try to understand. Financial ratios are also very important. There are different types of the ratios. That ratios you have studied in management accounting also. And now here in business finance, you should have to understand there should be improvement in financial ratio of the company, and that is possible with the help of lease finance. That's why also lease finance is preferred. Then another reason is also given here. Lease finance provides tax benefits. Try to understand. Very important benefit is there which is related with tax, and such type of a tax benefit is also provided by the lease finance, and as a lease rental are tax deducted. If lease rentals are there, such type of rentals are tax deductible, and that is also benefit there. Then another reason is there behind the lease finance, that is a company can manage its affair. A company can manage its affair with leisure quantum of fixed capital, and such type of leisure quantum of fixed capital should be managed systematically, and it is possible with the help of leasing finance. Then another reason is also there, you should have to understand, that is leasing maintains high liquidity in the business. Definitely it is possible. And the last reason is also there, it is off balance sheet method, not a on balance sheet method. It is off balance sheet method of financing, straightforward, simple and efficient. That's why it is preferred by n number of companies nowadays, and these are 1 plus dozen. Now 2 plus dozen reasons are there. How many reasons I have mentioned here? 2 plus dozen means 14 reasons are given here, and with the help of those reasons also you will understand why leasing is preferred. Okay, now what are the drawbacks of leasing? Definitely there may be drawbacks, and such type of drawbacks also we should have to study. And what type of drawbacks are there? Those drawbacks also we have to understand here. First drawback is enlisted here. It reflects badly on borrowing worthiness. It reflects badly on borrowing worthiness of a company. Then another drawback is also there. The cost of lease is relatively high. Such type of cost is definitely higher than the others. Okay. Then maintenance cost of assets are shifted to leasing. Definitely, maintenance cost of the assets are shifted to leasing. Then another drawback is also there. A long-term lease. A long-term lease is associated with certain risk of ownership. Such type of long-term lease is associated with certain risk of ownership, and that is also one of the important drawbacks. Then another drawback is also there. Long-term lease are not cancelable. Don't forget at all. Such type of lease are not cancelable, which may put company in troubles. Okay, because those are non-cancelable leads. Okay, then another drawback is also there, that is the interest cost of lease finance. The interest cost of lease finance is sometime higher than debt financing. It means that such type of interest is more than the debt finance, and that is also one of the drawback of the leasing. Then another drawback also we have to study here. Buying an asset is financially advantageous. Try to understand. Buying an assets is financially advantageous than taking assets on lease. Okay, it means that buying is more advantageous than the leasing. This is the meaning of this statement, and that's why that is also drawback. Lease loses the capital gain on terminal value of the assets. The leasee loses the capital gains on terminal value of the asset. And the last reason, drawback is also given here, and that is it increases the dependency. It increases the dependency of company, which may sometimes disturb the production schedule. In this way, these are the pound dozen drawbacks of leasing. And here, this point is over. If any difficulty will be there in your mind, I have mentioned here my email ID. You can contact freely and frankly to me. Definitely, I will try to solve your any difficulty wherever and whenever it is possible. Okay? Thank you. Thank you very much.